Good morning. It is Monday, June 2nd already. My name is Sue. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Southeast Washington, and I would like to welcome you to my craft room today, otherwise known as the Big Mess, because that's been suggested to me by some family members that I need to work on some things, but I'm thinking about that and reorganizing some things, but everything has to move out so that I can do that, which is a lot of work. I would like to welcome you today, and I have a question for you today. What is your go-to card design when you are short on time, but you still want a card to look, totally amazing and people to be impressed? Do you have a design that you like to go to? Because it's not too hard to do. I'm going to share one with you today, and hopefully you'll like it too. I have a few announcements to share with you today about some things that are happening in our Stampin' Up! World and card crafting. And so I'm going to switch my camera down and get to it so we can make our beautiful cards today that I have for you. A reminder about Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin comes in a box like this, and this is the May box, which was Mountain Majesties. And I was just going to show you that, like, everything but some scissors come in a box. The directions come in the box that show you how the cards can look. You can, of course, reconfigure things to make them look a little differently if you would like. A stamp set comes with each box, and in this box it kind of focuses on dads. For May, it was, it comes at the end of May. It comes at the end of the month, and you have until June 10th to subscribe if you would like to get Paper Pumpkin to come to you in June. Okay, and I'll share a little bit about what that will look like. But they have sentiments. They have some little bird on here. They tear and tape. They give you an ink spot that will match. They give you beautiful envelopes that are already pre-printed and everything. They give you some dimensionals, a whole sheet of dimensionals. They give you some pre-cut. You just punch them out. You don't even need scissors for these. You just punch them out. These are sentiment cards that go on the cards. And then the card bases themselves are usually two-sided. I mean, they're front and back like this, which makes it really easy to cut these in half and use a different color card base of some cardstock you might have. So you can easily double your cards for pumpkin kit just by cutting them in half and putting this one on the front, this one on another front. They have other stuff. This is all punch out stuff. This is different card base, more punch out stuff, different card base, more punch out stuff, some trees. Like I said, it focuses on Father's Day on this particular one. More punch out stuff. So it's got, lots and lots of stuff, and you can usually at least double your card making with every kit. It usually comes with 9 cards, and so you can easily turn that into 18 cards, and you can even do more. I've seen some people cut apart the envelopes and use the envelopes too for the background for cards and things like that. So your stamps, your dimensionals, your envelopes, your ink spot. You get a different ink spot every month. You get more sticky stuff, whatever you need, and the directions. And if you would like to watch someone make the cards, actually, besides just, the directions are pretty clear, But if you would like to watch someone do it, they have a QR code on the back of it that if you just snap a picture of that with your camera, it will take you to someone putting the cards together. And it goes pretty quickly. So you can just see how they put them together. And then, like I said, you can individualize them, do whatever you want with your paper pumpkin kit. So in June, the paper pumpkin kit is going to look something like this. It coordinates with the Floral Charm Suite collection. And it's really pretty with lots of florals in it for June. Okay. The next thing I wanted to announce is our buy one, get one 50% off sale. And I don't think Stampin' Up! Has ever done this before. This is with sweets, okay? And in our catalog and online, you will find lots of different sweet collections. For instance, the Turtley Cute Sweet Collection. If you wanted to buy the whole suite, it's $80.50. And the whole suite would include stamp set, die set, ribbon, an embossing folder, gems, and paper. Now, you can buy a suite and then get the next suite, a different suite, half price. They're going to charge you for the most expensive suite, and then because none of the suites are exactly the same price. So there's different suites, different prices. So like this one, if you chose Beautiful Gallery, it's $139. So they would charge you the $139, and you would get this one for $40.25. You get a half price. Now you can also do things. Now you wanna put things in your cart with the suites that are about the same. So if you would just wanted to buy from the suite, if you just wanted to buy the bundle, you wanted to buy the stamp set and the dies. Okay, so you buy those two. So then you go to the next suite that you want to buy, and you just buy the stamp set and the dies. Okay, you want to do that because if you bought the whole suite, they would again charge you that bigger price. All right. Now you don't want to buy, what you don't want to do is buy the stamp set and the dies from one set and then get just the gems from the other set, or just the paper from the other set. I mean, you can buy things that are within a set, but you kind of want to make it commensurate or the same price, okay? So that you're matching things up price-wise. Now, can you buy? Yes, but the sale is on suites and the products within the suites, okay? And you want to kind of be careful about how you pick, whether you pick the whole suite or you're picking just stamps and bundles. You know, those would match up pretty evenly. What you don't want to do is order separately just those dots. I would make a separate order because the is probably going to count those dots as your free item instead of looking at, oh, she bought from the suite, but you don't want the whole suite. Make a separate order, okay, so that the system you out of that BOGO thing. Okay. Just be careful how you're buying things that are the same price, you know, close in price, so that you will get that buy one get one 50% off price papers if you wanted that out of the suites type of thing. And if you want other stuff that are in suites, now if you buy stuff that's not in a suite, that's not. So if you bought cardstock and glue and you bought, you know, those are not included in the in your cart and not worry about it. It's stuff that is within sweet and labeled like this one, Turtley Sweet Collection. And so all these things on this page are in that sweet collection. Okay, the paper's in the collection, the dots are in the collection, the embossing folder's in the collection, the ribbon, the stamps, the dies are all. So you're either buying the whole suite or you're buying parts of that collection. So you just want to be careful with that on how you order. And if you're ordering things out of the suite that you don't want to be part of that BOGO thing, then do a separate order. And I think it would be benefit you and be really clear about you getting the best prices. And of course, you're going to earn Stampin' Rewards on everything you order that's $20 and above. You always earn 10% Stampin' Rewards. So that's our sale that's going on. Starts tomorrow, June 3rd, and it goes through the end of June, June 30th, for this buy one get one 50% off. And it's a great deal. Like I said, I don't think they've ever done this before, so they're going to kind of see how it goes, and it is while supplies last. So some things might go out of stock, and they might not get back in by the end of June. I don't know. So it is always good to order early if there's things that you really, really want and you would like to get the sale prices on those items. So the buy one, get one free thing. My June specials for this month, let me grab a pen. Of course, always, whenever you order $20 in product, you always get 10% Stampin' Rewards, $20 and above, okay? For a $40 order, you get my card kits for free, and I will send that to you. You get 4 cards, 2 of each, and you get your Stampin' Rewards still. So my card kits this month, and I did a video, a short video yesterday on it, and I did forget to put the link in. I'll try to remember to go back and put that link in. I was thinking about that like at 1 o'clock this morning when I was doing that, but I forgot. Anyway, I asked you earlier about do you have a go-to card design, and one of mine is the Joyfold. I really like Joyfolds, and that's what I used in my card kits, or 2 of them for this month are the Joyfold. These are 2 examples, and I explain how to make these Joyfolds. They're really pretty easy. I give you all the measurements and everything in my video that I did yesterday. It's on YouTube and it's on my Facebook page. And then the other card kit looks like this, where I cut some paper for you and you just put it together. It's a pretty basic card. This was with some newer paper. This is with some old paper that I really like, and you might get this paper because I have a lot of it. But I cut all the paper for you and everything, and send you all the parts and pieces to make it. You do need your own stamps and ink, of course, to complete the card kits as per Stampin' Up's policies. We can't stamp for you, but we can cut for you, and we can die cut for you, and we can emboss for you. So I will be doing those things. So check out my video from yesterday, June 1st. I put that up last night with my card kits. So for a $50 order, you get the card kits, and you get some gems, and you get your Stampin' Rewards still, of course. For a $60 order, you get the card kits still, you get the gems still, and this was very popular last month. You get 1 sheet of dimensionals, not a package, but a sheet of dimensionals, and you can choose, would you like the regular size dimensionals or would you like the minis? You'll get a full sheet. This one I've used part of them, but you'll get a full sheet. So there's 100 of the regular size dimensionals, and there's 240, I think, on the minis dimensionals. So that is my special. Again, this month I am working on a PDF, but it's things are still busy at my house with my husband, so I haven't quite got things figured out and done yet. So anyway, so I'm still offering my dimensionals instead of the PDF. But if I get that PDF done, I'll put that up. Okay. So paper pumpkin, the buy one get one 50% off, and my June specials. Those are the things that I have going on in June for us. Okay. I would like to remind you about last week's video. You might still be making, I'm still making some graduation cards, and I talked to you about how you can individualize those graduation cards by cutting out little numbers to put the year on, making the colors match for the graduating senior from high school, college, whatever you have, you know. So I was sharing some things that I was doing for some friends who are graduating, and I talked about like at universities, you can go online and get their logos and print those out and put their logos along with their colors. I did WSU for a friend's daughter that's graduating, and I showed you how to do that one and how to make it in, how to make these have little pockets in them. And this is one thing I'm working on, is making a PDF for this one with directions. So just wanted to remind you about last week's video. So that brings us to this week's video. We are using the beautiful Extraordinary Flora Washi tape. This is so fun. I don't know if you've gotten this yet, if you've looked at it in the catalog. I was going to look really quick and see if I can find that. I think it's on page 85. Yep. So on page 85, the Extraordinary Flora bundle. Now this, I do not believe, is a suite. No, so this is not on sale right now. But you can buy. There are stamps. There are dies, and it's actually is one die. It's really cool. I'll show you that in just a minute. And then it's this beautiful washi tape that you can cut out and use to make cards. And that's what we're going to do today with this washi tape. They're really fun. That's on page 84 and 85 of the annual catalog. So the cards I have today using the washi tape, I made 2 of them, and we will be making these today. And I did change one of them just a wee bit. I just changed the order that I wanted some stuff in. Anyway, these are the cards. They're really cute, really cute. I'm using, trying to see if I can put this in the right light. You know what? I don't even have my lights on. Huh, silly me. It's even on my list. Turn on your lights. There, that will help. Okay, so I have a new embossing folder on the back of this, and I have the washi tape cut out, and my inside. And this one I used Spotlight on Nature, because you know I love those dies. I used that and some background and the washi tape cut out to make another card. And what I've done, take out my little ribbons, is I've cut out some of the washi tape already, and I'm going to show you how I did that. And I put them in these little dishes that I have, because there's basically 2 colors or 2 palettes of washi tape, and there's different things you can stick the washi tape on. So you can stick the washi tape like on white cardstock, okay, which is mostly what I did today. And cut it out. And the die looks like this. It's just one piece, and I'm going to show you how I put it on some paper and cut it out to make these little pieces that I'm using today. You can also put the washi tape on vellum. Now, we used some vellum a few weeks ago, and I put this on vellum, which makes it a little bit translucent. I wanted to pick a darker color. There you go. This is Petunia Pop. So when you put it on a color, the color kind of shows through a little bit. If you want the color to show through even more, put the washi tape on a window sheet, which is clear. And we have window sheets, but you know what? I bet you already have window sheets, and I'll show you why I think so. And these come out kind of clear, so it picks up a little bit of the color of whatever's behind it, and it makes it look kind of cool on the window sheet. Okay, so you can do it on cardstock. You can do it on directly on colored cardstock. I put it on, this is Strawberry Slush cardstock, which is one of the colors in the washi tape. Put it directly on a color, okay? And so that changes it a little bit. So colored cardstock, white cardstock, window sheets, or vellum. All of those things you can put this washi tape on and then cut it out, okay? So I'm going to show you today window sheets. You can buy them from us, and I've linked them below. But if you're like me, I save too many things, and sometimes my husband gets a little irritated with how many things I save. But when I get a stamp set, I take my stamps out usually. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, like this one. We're going to use spring corners today. So I'll take my stamps out, and this comes on a window sheet. Okay, so I'll take my stamps out, and I'll just put them in my stamp case where they go, and then I save my window sheets. This is where I get window sheets, so I don't have to pay for them, because I use window sheets in my card making occasionally, like with this, certainly. So I just stick these on here, and now maybe you like to keep them on your window sheets. I don't know, but I don't mind having them in here, because I like to keep my stamp sets and my dies all in the same place, because then I can find them. Always my biggest problem is finding everything. So I'll just put my dies on those magnetic cards that I get from Stampin' Storage, and those there, and put those in here. I buy the 6x7s, and they go in here, and then I have my stamps in here, and I have my dies in here, all in the same container like that. And then I have a window sheet, and I clean them, you know, with my 409, and I stick them. I just have a little folder for them where I keep all my window sheets, so I know where they're at most of the time. And that's how I get window sheets, and that's how I organize my my things that I have. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to put these window sheets back, and I'm going to show you how I did my die cutting. So I take the washi tape, and like I said, it basically, I mean, there's like, I think there's over 60. There's like 62 of these on here. And on this one, I have a little bit of the purples right here. I'm going to cut these off. And I'm going to stick them on a window sheet. Because I can take them off this window sheet really easily. Because it is washi tape. It's not like once you have it down, it's down. No. I unlined this. Oops, I tore it a little bit. But that's okay, because it goes back together. It goes back together really easily. Because I've done this before. I've torn it. But I'll show you my method of sticking them on. So I just pull it and I cut it because I can see where the purpley ones start, and these are the strawberry slush ones. And since it's washi tape, it's not permanent right away. And I stick it down and I start in the middle. I start in the middle and I work out to the edges with my finger. Now if you get a little crease in there, you can pull it up. Like I've got a little crease right here, so I'm going to pull it up. And I've got a rip right here, and I'm going to fix that. And I'm working from the middle outwards. And then where this part where I tore it, I'm just going to carefully put it back down and press. Okay, so I've just adhered my washi tape to a piece of white cardstock. That, and then I place my die on here, and I use a little bit of plain washi tape to secure it to my die, and I run it through my cut and emboss machine, and that is all I had to do. And I use this other washi tape to make sure my die stays where I want it to stay, and I'll just use a plate. I'm not gonna die cut it because I've already die cut a bunch of them for us today. But I just put it on a plate and I run it through my cut and emboss machine the way I normally would. Okay, that's it. That's it. So then I cut them and they literally fall out. They fall right out. And I've just sorted mine into two piles of the strawberry slush, and you can mix and match them or keep them separate, but I just have two little lids here that I put them in, and so I can pick out what I want to use. So I have my purpley ones over here and my strawberry slush ones over here, and that's how I just pull them from my dishes to make my cards. And that's what we're going to do today, is make both of these cards. And they're fun, they're easy. They both start out with a white card base. Okay. Alrighty, so here we go. So the basic white card base for both of them, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is a standard U.S. card base. Okay, 8.5 by 4 by 5.5, scoring at 4 1/4. So the one I did here, I had the white card base, and I did black, and then I did Coastal Cabana, and then I did white. And I decided to switch the black and the Coastal Cabana so that the black would be against the white. I decided I liked that better, so that's the way I cut it for this one that we're going to do together today. So on the inside, I used textured notes, and these things are all linked below, and I used the second die in textured notes. use the second one down. This is number 1, the largest one. I use the second one for the inside of my cards today on both of them. Textured dies number 2. It's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And that's just going to be my inside. And I use, like I just said, I used spring corners for the inside of this one. Wishing you an amazing day. And I put the little flower at the bottom. This little flower, stamped that, and I did that all in Coastal Cabana because that's my color that I'm using on this particular card is Coastal Cabana. So when I have the inside of my card, I usually use the tape runner because it makes it nice and flat for the inside of my card. Okay, now the outside of my card that I'm going to put on top of here, like I said, I reversed the color scheme, and I'm going to have Coastal Cabana first. That's my first layer, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then I'm going to put the black, which is 3 3/4 by 5. So my Coastal Cabana, and then my basic black. And then I have a piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 embossed white, which is going to be my next layer. Now the card I did, I embossed it with a 3D eyelet, which I like, and I linked that below. But a new one that we have is called here it is, Pressed Flowers Embossing Folder, this one. Okay, so it's really hard to see because this is on white, but there's pressed flowers, and I kind of like that one too. So for something different, I'm going to put that. So my white is it's going to leave a really, really skinny black border, which I like. So I'm going to put that on. So my Coastal Cabana was 4 by 5 1/4. And then my basic black was 3 3/4 by 5. And then my white was 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Alrighty. So I'm just going to put those together real quick. I'm going to use some glue, and I've already got all my stuff cut. Suppose this got stopped up. I have a pen if I need one. I might need one. If your glue gets kind of stuck in there, you can stick a pin in it. Open it back up. Feels pretty open. Okay. Yep, there we go. And remember, with an embossing one, you want to put a fairly generous amount of glue on there. And this is going to go directly on the black. And the white against the really black skinny border looks great. Really sets it off. And then I'm going to glue this on my Coastal Cabana layer, which is going to go with my Spotlight on Nature circles that I have. Center that. Okay. So those are my layers. So I have lots of layers on here. So I have my white card base back, and then I have my Coastal Cabana, my black, and my white top layer. So then, there they are. I have my Spotlight on Nature, and I cut the second largest circle and the third largest circle, Coastal Cabana and Basic White. And the second largest circle in the set is just 3¼ circle, and the third largest circle is 2½ inch circle. So it's circle number 2 and circle number 3 that I'm going to put down. And I'm just going to glue those together. And on this one, I popped it up. I popped the circle up. But then I noticed that you couldn't really see through the holes very well. So I'm gonna glue this down so that you can see through the holes. You can see the white through the holes. But I'll pop up some of the flowers that I'm gonna use on here. So I'm just gonna glue this down. So I can see that white clearly through. Okay, then I pulled in mostly my purplish flowers for this one. And I do a dry fit first, trying to decide how I want to arrange my flowers. And I just kind of sort through them. That's the same one. Okay. They're not coming up. There we go. Let me get some out of here. And sometimes I trim them. Like I'm going to trim, I'm going to use that on the other one maybe. Sometimes if they're too long, I'll trim them or whatever. So like this is Coastal Cabana, so I think I'm gonna use that. And you just have to stay within the frame of the card, but you can go off this circle. I'm gonna put that there. And I'm gonna put some of these other little ones on here. You just kind of decide how you want them arranged. And I would glue down the stuff you want glued down first, and then pop up the stuff you want popped up. It works a little bit better to do that. So I want this one definitely glued down, and that's kind of the Coastal Cabana. And I'm going to use some dimensionals on this one. I'll put one there. And put a mini one up here. And you can slip stuff underneath the dimensionals. Okay. And I think I'll put, yep. Put one up here. Okay. And then down here, now I have a sentiment that I want to go on here too. So I need to kind of keep in mind how I want that sentiment to go and what I want to happen on top of it. In fact, I'm probably going to glue that down first so that I can put some stuff on top of it. And I used, this Happy Birthday was out of Spring Corners that I showed you just a minute ago, because I was looking for something small. So they had a Happy Birthday down here that was small, and I couldn't find the right size die to cut it, so I just did my paper trimmer and I stamped it on white and trimmed it, and then trimmed some Coastal Cabana to go behind it. Okay, and I think I'll put this one down, and I'll put this one down. It's just a matter of kind of picking some stuff that kind of goes together. And you can see I'm tying some Coastal Cabana in there, and then along with some other colors that are, and in the catalog, actually, in the catalog, it tells you all the colors that are in this roll of washi tape. And I looked it up, and it's Berry Burst, Coastal Cabana, Darling Duckling, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, Old Olive, Petunia Pop, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce, and Strawberry Slush. So that's a lot of colors to, you know, put your stuff together and mix and match everything. Do you like this one? Yeah, I kind of like that one too. Okay, I'm going to put that one over there. I'm just going to glue him down. Slip him under there. Okay, so I have my lovely card front. Oop, got too much glue on there. Now you can use your glue eraser when it's dry. When it's dry. Now the glue dries pretty dry, or pretty clear, but sometimes I can take a little baby wipe or something and get some glue off of there, just a little bit. And I'm going to introduce you to strips of instead of always using the dimensionals, because sometimes most of the time I use the dimensionals, but I have these strips, and we sell them too. These are a different brand. I have a whole entire roll of it, so I'm not going to waste my whole entire roll until I'm done with it. But we sell the strips too. Strips of dimensionalized, and it will hold, the great thing is it will hold that card very evenly, okay, without saggy parts. And I usually put 3 strips either across or up and down. I just did this one up and down. But you see I have a whole big roll of it, so that's a lot. I used to buy these when they went on half price, because they're kind of expensive, and if they went on a half price sale, I would buy them. So I'm always trying to save some money. But so I'm just gonna center this and press on my card, and I put some gems in my magic pile over here. gems. There they are. These are Rhinestone Basic Classics. They're just clear rhinestones. You can color them with alcohol markers, which I do sometimes. But I just thought, I'm just going to stick a few little gems here and there on here, just to spice it up. You can put them wherever you want. So I have my embossing in the background. The top, because this embossing folder wasn't a full embossing folder, the top's not embossed, but the bottom is. And then I have my spotlight on nature circles. I have my pieces and parts that I cut out of the washi tape, and putting them in a little flat container makes it really easy to use them, I found. So you don't lose them, or you can put them in an envelope. I also sometimes put stuff in envelopes, but I find that the little containers work really well. And so then I just decorated my circle a little bit, put a little greeting on there. I have my greeting on the inside, and I have a beautiful happy birthday card. I do like it better than my first one in terms of putting the black next to the white instead of in the very background. I don't know, what do you think? But I kind of like the black back here, right next to the top layer. It looked pretty. So that's our first card. Our second card looks like this. And I used a new embossing folders that we have. They're called Glass and Garden embossing folders. And so they have, the glass one is kind of like crackled glass. Well, not randomly crackled, but squares and stuff. It's geometric is the word I'm looking for. Geometric. I used the, let's see if I put white behind you can see this maybe. Maybe if I put a color. Yeah, color. You can probably see it maybe a little better. It has roses and foliage on it. Anyway, that's the one I used on the card that we're going to make next. Use that one, and I link these two at the bottom. They come as a set. It's called Glass and Garden. Glass and Gardens embossing folders. You get both of them. They look kind of like that. Okay. So, what I did, to make this is I took that Glass and Garden embossing folder and I cut a piece. Geez, didn't I write these sizes down, huh? This is 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, this is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. And I ran it through the embossing machine. There. Oh, there, you can see it. And I just ran it right down the middle, okay? So the edges are not embossed, but the middle is embossed. I think you can see that. Then I used a standard card base, and this is just 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, folded in half at 4 1/4, okay? And I'm just going to put white on white. I like white on white. I mean, you could put a color behind it, make it a little smaller and put a color behind it if you like. But I put white on white. And then I used the other colors that I had cut out with the strawberry slush and some of those colors that I was using. And I just decorated this corner and this corner, and I wanted a real skinny greeting, and so I had to go to an old embossing or an old folder to get that. I did stippled roses because they had Best Birthday Wishes, which was skinny and long. And so this is retired, but I just looked through my stash, and you know, I encourage you to do that. Look through your stash and see what you need, what you want. I did use textured notes that I talked about just a minute ago. I used this skinny die cut from the bottom to cut this and to stamp my birthday wishes, best birthday wishes on that, because I did want a skinny one. And I'm going to put that in the middle. Okay. And I used this second one, the second textured notes die for the inside again. And I used Wishing You the Brightest Birthday, and again I was looking for something that might go with it, and I found what I wanted in Cheerful Daisies, which is also, I think, retired. Wishing You the Brightest Birthday. I took it from that one, and it does have some stamps you could use if you did something like that to stamp some images on the inside. I didn't stamp anything on this one, but I'm going to just tape that in real quick for the inside. And I stamped with one of our new colors. I used Strawberry Slush on this one because Strawberry Slush is in some of these images that I cut out with the washi tape. So I'm going to use those long pieces of tape again to put this on the cover of the card. I'm going to use some more of those long pieces of tape. I found this in my cupboard the other day and I went, man, I forgot I had this, and I need to use it up. I need to use it, not just let it sit there and ruminate. So I am going to use this long tape. And I use my sticky scissors that I just use to cut stuff that's sticky, and then I clean off my sticky scissors every once in a while with some alcohol, and it takes the sticky right off of them. And as you can see, I'm not careful about making them all the same size. I mean, I know some people are really careful and they measure it, but not me. You know, it works. So and it is pretty easy to use. And like I said, we sell this too. So I'm just going to put this white on white. It's just a little bit smaller than my card base. And I've got that, and this is my embossed with the garden flowers and stuff on there. And I will put my best birthday wishes is going to go in the middle. So now I'm going to look at all the stuff I have. I'm not going to use the white one. Now sometimes when you cut stuff off, it'll cut, it doesn't cut, you get the end piece. Don't throw those away because those are useful. Like I would put that inside. I would put it right on an edge inside like that. And then of course you can put a whole piece on the inside too. Just glue it on and decorate your inside a little bit. So don't throw away those pieces because they work really good for edges. Okay, on this, I believe I'm going to cut this a little bit smaller because I want that to go underneath, but I don't want it to be quite as long. And I'm going to look for some other pieces and parts that I can use for here. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to glue down the stuff I want flat. I'm going to put my leaves flat and my flowers on top. And I'll pop the flowers up on those. And I will put some dimensionals on those. And these flowers have strawberry slush in them. I want it to show a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Let me see. We'll put these over here. And this one up here. So I didn't want it to extend past this one. There. So we want that one. So put a couple on there. And just add that right there. And then I will put some dimensionals. I think the large ones will fit. Well, maybe not. Maybe it'll show. Maybe I'll use small ones. You can always cut the big ones too, if you don't have the minis. I used 4 minis on this one. And I stamped this in strawberry slush because I stamped on the inside with strawberry slush. I didn't think of that on the first card I made. And I stamped with Secret C. So, I mean, it looked okay, stamping with Secret C, because it, you know, it went with everything. But then it didn't match my inside, so I wanted it to match my inside. So I did strawberry slush on the outside and strawberry slush on the inside. And then I added a few gems. And like I said, if you wanted to color them with alcohol markers, you certainly could do that to make them a little more colorful. Put that right in the middle of that flower. Okay, so I just added the gem. So that's white on white with the washi tape. Now, I didn't get this made last night because, like I said, I did not manage my time well yesterday at all. Yeah. So anyway, one of the things I thought of, I've seen it done, is they just put the washi tape on a piece of white or colored cardstock or whatever, and then put it on a card. Like if I was going to use, this is 11 by 4¼ and you would just fold it in half. And this is just like me making this up right now, okay? But they would put a piece of this, they would maybe put a strip of designer series paper down the middle of this that was pretty monochromatic, like I might use something like this, okay, behind it, because I wouldn't want it to be as brightly colored as this one, but I might use something like with some stripes or something like that. And they sentiment gems, and they just use the washi tape, just like this. You could cut it skinnier, you cut it whatever size you wanted it to put it on the front, and not cut the individual flowers. I will tell you, it's hard to stick because it's washi tape. It's got kind of a, I want to say kind of a wax paperish finish to it. Something's, you know, something. And gems stick to it okay, but like glue dots don't stick to it very well at all. Glue, sort of, kind of. But stuff doesn't stick to it as well as it sticks to cardstock and designer series paper. So that's just another idea to make floral arrangements on it, which I think turned out really very pretty. They don't take a long time. You can churn out several of these cards at a time, and they can be birthday. I always need birthday cards, so you'll find me making birthday cards. But I do use sympathy and encouragement cards, all kinds of cards. I just see this as wedding cards, lots and lots of pretty things. So let me turn the camera up. There we go. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you liked using the washi tape. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's not very expensive at all. You can do lots of different things with it. Like I said, putting it on window sheets, putting it on vellum, putting it on colored cardstock, putting it on white cardstock. You can put it on just about anything. And the great thing is you can peel it up and press it. I was just pressing with my finger. I mean, I've watched people use the bone folder to press out the wrinkles, but I didn't find I needed that at all. It just worked really well to press it with my fingers or lift it up and repress it, because it is washi tape, so it's removable. But once you cut it out onto these little die cuts, that will stay on. I mean, you'd have to work at getting this pulled up. You could do it, with take your pick tool or something, but you would have to work at it to get it to undo. So I will see you next Monday at a time to be yet determined. Hopefully it'll be at 9 o'clock in the morning. If not, I'll let you know on my Facebook page. And I think I have one of our new sets. I think it's Pretty Florals and Thankful Garden next week is what I'm going to be doing. So we'll see you then. Thank you for joining me today. And again, if you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to add those, and I will get back to you. You can email me or